Hi, welcome to today's video of ASMR. I kind of felt like doing more of a gentle voice rather than a whisper. My videos have been going up a little bit later lately because I've been sleeping in later, so my entire schedule is completely opposite. But I can say that at least I'm relaxed, and I've been watching lots of anime, which is super important. And just overall enjoying myself. I hope you're having a good weekend. It is Saturday. Tomorrow's my day off from stream, so I'm going to try and not only finish my book, but get a bunch of these videos filmed out for this week so I can have them come out at 5 p.m. again, because I really like the 5 p.m. start. But yeah, I hope you're having a relaxing evening. I hope you were so relaxed. Today I wanted to do something a bit different, and I wanted to read The Myth of the Fall of Icarus. So as y'all know, I stream on Twitch, and I have a lot of moderators, and they are my best friends in the whole wide world, and I love them to bits. And one of them is named Icarus. So this video is dedicated to you. I'm doing this as like half a joke, but also I just wanted to read a story. So I hope you enjoy, and make sure that if you're not already subscribed, that you subscribe. Turn on notifications with the bell so that you know when I post a new video every day, by the way. Every day I will be posting relaxing ASMR videos. Comment and like. Let me know if you have any requests. If there's a story you would like me to read, I will read it. Alright. Icarus. Man has forever pushed himself to the limits, trying to achieve the impossible. Discoveries and inventions are perhaps man's way to escape from the mundane, or simply to alter his life. Such an effort is the myth of Daedalus and Icarus, a brilliant story of how necessity facilitated the invention of something that was never meant for man, and how it led to his downfall. Myth though it may be, the story of Daedalus and Icarus wants to show us that the power of man has no limits, but also that we should be very careful how to use this power. I don't know if it's Daedalus. I hope it's Daedalus. But yeah. Discover the myth of the fall of Icarus. The story of Daedalus. I don't know who this is. The intelligence of Daedalus was known far and wide. He was accredited as the finest artificer ever, with a sharp and clever mind. Daedalus was living and working in Athens, and he had a young apprentice in his workroom, his nephew, Talus. Talus was an extraordinarily talented boy, and had begun showing traces of being a craftsman for surpassing his uncle's skill. As it is to the nature of man, Daedalus was highly envious of his nephew's proficiency. One day, while on a visit to the Acropolis, Daedalus pushed him off the edge. Some say that the boy whom Daedalus had pushed off the edge of the Acropolis was not Talus, but his sister's son, Perdix, who was apprenticing to him. To stop Perdix from being dashed upon the ground below, the benevolent goddess Athena transformed him into a bird that flew away to safety. Legend has it that this bird has since been known as the partridge, and wary of its tragic past, avoids high places and nestles in hedges. That's actually kind of beautiful. Whoever was the victim, the artificer, was put into trial by Areopagus, the Supreme Court of Athens, and charged with murder. His punishment was to get banished from Athens to the island of Crete. Daedalus in Crete. Crete was ruled by King Minos probably, and there, in his palace of Knossos, Daedalus found work as an architect. Years passed, and he fell in love with Naukrate, a mistress slave of the king, and married her. They were blessed with a child whom they named Icarus. Oh! Life went on without incident until one day Minos called upon Daedalus. He wanted the architect to design and build an enclosure for the Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of and tail of a bull. This monster, in truth, was the son of Pasiphae, Minos' wife, but not by the king. Years ago, following his ascension to the throne of Crete, there had been much squabbling amongst King Minos and his brothers. Minos. Minos had fervently prayed for a sign from Poseidon to assert his claim to the throne. The sea god, impressed with Minos' devotion, had sent him a snow-white bull as an omen that he should be ruler supreme. Overjoyed, Minos had vowed that he would sacrifice the bull to the sea god, but consumed by avarice, which is greed if you didn't know, he kept the bull for himself. Angered at Minos' disrespect and betrayal of trust, Poseidon avenged himself by cursing Pasiphae to fall in love with the bull. That is like, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's not really the same, but it reminds me of Midsummer Night's Dream, which I also read on this channel if you want to check that video out. Well, I read like parts of it out of order. It was just fun. Sorry, I'm yawning because I just woke up. I'm a little sleepy. I hope you're sleepy. It's kind of interesting because in Midsummer, Oberon makes Puck like doesn't make Puck. Puck decides to get Titania to fall in love with an ass. It's interesting. Anyway, building the labyrinth. I had no idea that there was a labyrinth in this. Delirious with desire for the bull, Pasiphae asked Daedalus to construct for her a hollow wooden cow. Oh, because she like loved the bull. What the heck? Okay, so getting into the strange contraption, she made amorous advances toward the bull. What? Their bizarre union resulted in the birth of a minotaur. Wait, did she actually do it with the bull? Or did she do it with a hollow wooden cow and then make a kid? I'm so confused. Their bizarre union resulted in the birth of the Minotaur, which was half man, half bull. Ashamed at his wife's deed. I didn't realize this was going this way. Oh my gosh. Talk about a bedtime story. Minos wanted to hide the monster, which was growing violent and gigantic day after day. For this reason, he asked Daedalus to build a labyrinth for the beast, a structure with many twists and turns where a person could get lost interminably. Such was the intricacy of the edifice that even Daedalus had a tough time finding his way out. In fact, Ovid makes worthy mentions of Daedalus in his works. In Metamorphosis, Ovid says that the labyrinth was constructed with such shrewdness that even the master craftsman barely found his way out. The Minotaur was kept at the center of the labyrinth, hidden away from prying eyes. It had to be fed with young people, and was the horror of Minos' enemies and subjects. Oh, no way. They like fed babies to this thing. What am I reading? The conception of the unbelievable. Unfortunately for Daedalus, the king had imprisoned him and his young son, Icarus, in a high tower so that they couldn't reveal the secret of the labyrinth to anyone. Daedalus and Icarus were languishing in their prison atop the tower. Every day the master craftsman was pondering over their escape and how they could work such a miracle. He suddenly realized that their only escape route was by air, since King Minos had control over every vessel that left the island. Moreover, Minos had issued strict orders to search thoroughly every ship leaving Crete. Instead of growing impassivity over their fate, Daedalus received a marvelous plan. He had observed the birds that were flying around the tower. No way. He studied in great detail their mannerisms and hit upon his idea of how to escape. For a large period of time he was gathering all the feathers he could find lying around, and joining them with wax he fashioned 2 pairs of wings, one for himself and the other for his son. The day arrived when they were to execute their escape plan, but Daedalus had a grave warning for his son. He forbade Icarus to fly too close to the sun, for that would melt the wax, or to fly too close to the sea, for that would dampen the feathers. Father and son both then perched on the edge of the tower parapet, and leapt off. Flapping their wings furiously, they were able to emulate the birds, and in no time, while flying over the sea, put a great distance between themselves and Crete. The fall of Icarus. Unfortunately, Icarus soon forgot his father's warning, and filled with the exhilaration of flying, he flew too high and too close to the sun. The intense heat melted the wax on the wings. The feathers came loose. A few minutes later, poor Icarus plummeted down into the sea and was drowned. Daedalus was struck with horror, but there was nothing he could do to save his son. Aggrieved at his loss, he named the sea spot where his son had drowned, and he chose the close by island after his name. The sea was named the Icarian Sea, and the island was named Icaria. Some sources mention that at the time Icarus fell into the sea, the mighty Hercules was passing by, and he gave the fallen Icarus a befitting burial. Berating himself for his tragic loss, he continued to fly towards Sicily, where he sought refuge in the court of King Cocalus and Camicus. With the king's help, he constructed a temple dedicated to Apollo, and as an offering to the god, hung up his wings for good. Solving the trick puzzle. Okay, so this is very interesting. So that's how Icarus dies. I had no idea. Sorry, Icky. At Crete, an irate king Minos seethed and fumed over Daedalus' incredible escape. The only thought on his mind was to recapture the skilled artificer and bring him back to Knossos. Minos knew that Daedalus would have disguised himself to avoid recognition, and therefore hunting him out would be no easy task. However, he did know that the artificer couldn't refuse a challenging riddle or a puzzling task. Minos set out from Crete in search of Daedalus, and wherever he went, he offered a handsome reward to anyone who could run a thread through a spiral seashell. What? He knew that this was a very complex puzzle, and Daedalus would be challenged to solve it. One day, Minos reached Camicus and announced the same reward and task. Many people came and tried to solve the puzzle, but had no avail. The news reached King Cocalus, and he immediately asked for Daedalus, for he knew that if anyone could solve the puzzle. I'm so sleepy and relaxed. It would be him. His old age hadn't affected the brilliant mind of Daedalus, and when he saw the puzzle, he knew exactly what to do. At the end of the seashell, he placed a drop of honey, and then tying a string to an ant, let the insect in from the other end to wander through the myriad of spirals of the shell. Drawn by the sweet smell of honey, the ant emerged at the other end, stringing the shell through and through. Minos knew that he had found his man. Immediately, he demanded that the wily old fox be handed over, but Cocalus had other plans. He coaxed the king Minos to stay a while in Camicus to rest from the long trip. Seeing no harm in it, Minos consented and waited while the chambermaids were getting his bath ready. In the meantime, Cocalus' daughters, who for years had been charmed by Daedalus' inventions and stories and couldn't bear to see him taken away, conspired to kill Minos. When it was time to take his bath, they poured scalding hot water on him. In his soul, this could have been the revenge of Daedalus. He saw the death of the man who led, in some point, to the death of his son, feeling guilty till the end. Knowing well that his disguise had been seen through, Daedalus decided to leave Camicus, much to the disappointment of the king and his daughters. He was last seen in Sardinia in the company of Lolos, who was nephew to Hercules. Since then, no one knows what happened to this great engineer, what places he saw, what inventions he created, what miracles bore his mind. Today, Daedalus represents for us a brilliant person who had been cursed to suffer because of his special talent. The peak of his misfortune was living with the guilt that he caused the death of his son. That's so interesting. Wow. I didn't expect it to end like that. That was about, 16 minutes? So I still have a few minutes before I end the video because I don't want it to be, super whatever. But that is so interesting. I'm kind of confused at a few parts because it's hard to, this is hard to figure out. So basically it was, let's go through this again. So Daedalus was just awesome, very sharp, very clever. But Daedalus made a mistake. He murdered somebody. Which technically, he murdered somebody's son. Which is awful. So, you feel bad for Daedalus, but, he pushed somebody to their death. They say it was Perdix. I think being banished from Athens was right for Daedalus. But I guess that was just his becoming of how he got there. Because he ended up having Icarus. He wouldn't have met Naucrate if he hadn't have been there. So I guess that's an okay thing. But it's kind of funny when you look at the stories because it's your son was killed trying to escape. But also, you're a murderer and you killed somebody's son, your sister's son. So what are you supposed to do about that? It sounds like Icarus is the innocent one here. And then begs the question, do you blame the son for the father's choices? Did Icarus deserve that? Should they not have escaped? Now, why were they locked up? Just because they wanted to hide? Minos wanted to hide the beast. Minos wanted to hide the beast in the labyrinth. Daedalus had not even a tough time finding his way out. So I get it now. Daedalus and Icarus both knew the secret to the labyrinth, on how to get to the center of the labyrinth. But this entire story is to hide this, poor kid that is a minotaur, right? Because his wife fell in love with... I did not expect this story to be so ridiculous. I mean, I guess that's, Greek tales for you, I guess, but... it's still kind of fun. That is wonderful. I don't know. Gosh, we should read more of these, just for fun. I don't know. I don't know if I'm giggling too much or if this is even enjoyable. I'm sorry, I just hit the mic. But honestly, how interesting. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. This video is coming to you a little late. Hopefully tomorrow's I'll be able to get to you a bit sooner. I slept till after 5 p.m. today. Woke up, had some pizza, relaxed, and now I'm just getting this out, and I'm going to be live on Twitch by the time you see this video. I think we're going to be playing some Stardew Valley tonight. I have a lot of work to do, just kind of want to get comfy cozy and move on ahead with that because I'm still pretty behind with everything. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Can I just say, I think the singing video I did has a lot of views, so thank you for that. We're almost at 100 subscribers, and it's been 2 weeks. I don't know how that happened, but thank you so much. Keep supporting, keep commenting below. If you comment in another language, so help me, I will figure out what it is and I will comment back in your language. I speak a little bit of French, which helps, but like not a lot. I can read it and understand it, but speaking it's a bit tough. Je suis fatiguée de pratiquer le français. But that's like the one sentence I taught myself how to say, and it just has a nice ring to it. So people think I can speak more French than I actually can, because anyway, I hope you have a wonderful night. I was thinking about doing another Q&A video with a coffee maybe tomorrow or the next day. So if you have any questions, post them in the replies to this video. I would love to hear it. And I hope you have a wonderful Saturday evening. Stay relaxed, sleep well, and have a happy Valentine's Day or anti-Valentine's Day, depending on what you celebrate.